I really want to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen from how I felt coming into the show and the aftermath of watching everything. I mean, consuming all three seasons in a span of a week is I can't help but think that this was a detriment to my mental being, to my mental state. But guess what? I did enjoy the ride. I enjoyed watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and I think the transformation with how the anime has become from during the first half of season 1 and 2 to the second half of season 2 up until season 3. It's such a mind-boggling journey because I initially came into the show thinking it's another one of those shonen where the masses eat it up. It has all these qualities of being a standard shonen. You have this thing called curse technique that's so interesting to learn, and people are more preoccupied about the fights. People are more preoccupied about what the power does, or if this person is powerful, if this curse spirit is powerful, can Itadori beat this person? That was my initial expectation of season 1, and it was. Pretty much. There were hints, of course, that the anime was far different than what it really was, but in general, what I've seen from season 1 is similar to most shonen. That's not in any way, shape, or form me disrespecting the story, right? And I think it's so important to understand that season 1 sets the foundations for the story of Jujutsu Kaisen. It's one of the main things why season 2 hits so much more harder because of how vastly different it was from season 1. Yes, we did experience the loss of Junpei, and even Itadori's death was surprising, but even Junpei was a side character, and that did feel impactful, but it wasn't to the level of what season 2 was going to be. You were sort of baited into this false sense of security, making you think that season 2 was going to be, okay, people are going to die, that's for sure. There's going to be casualties, but we'll still end up victorious. We in fact did not end up victorious. And I think season 2 was where most of the strain of the story of Jujutsu Kaisen was being put onto. This was a story of a magnitude that stopped giving its villains any sort of limits. And this realization accompanied the transformation of Itadori Yuji as well. From what he was in season 1, this happy guy who was constantly thinking about saving people and giving each other proper deaths, it's almost like that part of him was being stripped away in season 2. I don't know why, but it felt like Gege Akutami, the author of Jujutsu Kaisen, had some personal beef with Itadori Yuji for putting him through so much strain. And I remember telling myself, wow, season 2 did not feel like a shonen. It felt more like the boundaries between a shonen and a seinen, because it was still dealing with themes about, fighting and compassion, empathy, and all these kinds of things, but a part of it was sort of deviating into something more uglier, I suppose, and that's where seinen tend to land most. And season 2 almost perfectly encapsulates that. One of the main things why season 2 to me was close to perfection is the conclusion, something that ultimately ends the Shibuya incident. But to me, not only did it not feel like it ended, it still mutated into something far more than we could imagine, and that was season 3. Now, season 3 wasn't all the same with season 2. I think it was far more of the dust settling down. It was the moment where we see this change in Itadori Yuji finally starting to form, and Fushiguro as well, taking this approach where he's now far more calculated, far more colder in order to keep the people that he cares for safe. But I still did enjoy season 3. I think it's still as enjoyable as the second season. Far more than the first season, that's for sure. Because of the stakes, because of what we've been through. I think there were parts in season 3 where I just felt like saying to Itadori Yuji, hey bro, come on. I know we're fighting some pretty strong curses, we're fighting some pretty strong curse users, but bro, we've been through Shibuya. That's how I felt like going through season 3. That's how I felt like throughout season 3. Constantly reminding myself, and me wanting to remind Itadori Yuji, bro, we've been through Shibuya. We've seen the shit that has happened in Shibuya, and we've fought far more disturbing and powerful monsters in Shibuya than what we're experiencing in the colonies in Tokyo or in Sendai or wherever it is. I don't think in a long while anything in the story is gonna equal that of what season 2 was. The Shibuya incident was just filled with so many characters that evolved and changed over time, and I think season 3 is going to be the build up for that in season 4, and that's what I sort of like about season 3. It's not like the Shibuya incident, but we get to see now the transformations. It's almost kind of poetic, right? With Itadori Yuji and Fushiguro, how the Shibuya incident sorta transfigured them, transformed them, and changed them internally. Their souls changed, and who they are as people. I want to end this video off by saying I hate Mei Mei. Gojo could have done more. It's Mekamaru's fault, and Nanami didn't deserve to die. I don't see Ijichi anymore. I think he's just incapacitated too, but Todo as well. Wow. I mean, I've lost all hope with most of the characters in this show. I'm sticking with Itadori Yuji until the very bitter end. That's how I feel. Wherever he ends up with, I'll stand there with him. But I'm tired. But yeah, anyways, that's how I feel about Jujutsu Kaisen. There's a lot of things I want to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. There's a lot of topics that I want to dive into, but I think I'll just contain it into this. Expect more Jujutsu Kaisen videos from now on, because there are a lot. I'm not sure if I want to dive into the manga. Probably not. I think I'll just wait for the anime once it drops, but that's pretty much it for me. Have a blessed day, afternoon, evening, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Sayonara.